put on today. Mr. Lopez, that we talked about a couple of days ago, who's the VOP in our case and picked up a felony.
So basically
So Lopez,
yes, sir.
you were on bond for a violation of protective order, and I see that you picked up a felony violation of protective order. I warned you at the outset, if you violate this, we can have a hearing to hold you at zero bond. What happened on the felony case, Cole? Please.
On the felony case, on May 4th, 2025, at 4:15 a.m., law enforcement officers were dispatched to the Oxford Inn. The reportee was staying in room 110 and placed a call in regards to hearing screaming, fighting, and what sounded like objects being thrown around the room above hers. The law enforcement officers observed these noises to be coming from room 220. Upon knocking on the door, the defendant answered, and law enforcement officers observed him to be wearing an ankle monitor. Law enforcement officers observed the complaining witness sitting on the bed. Both the complaining witness and the defendant relayed that only a verbal altercation had taken place. Dispatch advised that defendant was currently out on bond in Harris and Fort Bend County, and that the bond conditions in both of these cases included a no contact order with the complaining witness.
He's on bond for a case in Fort Bend County too? What's he got open in Fort Bend?
Checking that, Your Honor. Violation of protective order, AFN.
EPO over there as well? Let's have a hearing to hold him at no bond then.
So this is DBB's case, Your Honor. Before we set anything, I'd like to get DBB in here. We'll email him right now.
When was that case up? Does that case originate from? And is it a felony or is it a misdemeanor?
It looks like a misdemeanor. I'm running the NCIC just to make sure everything's, I'm going off the case jacket. So.
Judge, if I may, when they're looking that up, his felony bond is set at 50,000, Judge. He has no intention to bond out. I mean, if you want to go through the, whole thing about your hearing, that's entirely up to you. But I mean, the only thing I would request is, considering this is a misdemeanor and felony's got him at a 50,000, any kind of reasonable bond less than that will solve the whole thing, not waste the court's time. He has no intention to bond out. If you want to no bond him, it's the same situation anyways, Judge. So you could probably save a lot of time and, maybe a $30,000 bond, $20,000 bond, whatever you think is fit. So
Your Honor, as far as what's going on in Fort Bend, I can see there was an AFM filed on, looks like December 20th of 2024. There was an interference call or interference with emergency requests for assistance on 12/20/2024 as well at Fort Bend. There was a violation of protective order filed at Fort Bend on, let's see.
Mr. Lopez, I'm going to revoke your bond now. I'm going to set it at 50,003. And then let's talk to DPD to see whether we have a hearing to hold him at no bond. I mean, I find by clear and convincing evidence, you refuse to comply with bond conditions. You repeatedly show that you're going to do whatever you want to do. You're a complete and utter danger to our community. I think that the only reasonable thing to do is to have a hearing as to whether we're going to hold it no bond. In the interim, now I'm going to set your bond at 50,003, and then we'll wait for DPD to get here and then we'll go from there.
Judge, and that's fine, but I am on duty in court 12. I'm not sure when I can get back
It's
here.
not going to be today.
So,
It's got to be.
no worries. I mean,
I have to give them notice. I
And
need
just so Your Honor knows, I'm going to let DBB know, the felony, one of the bases for the two to make it a felony was this misdemeanor, so.
Okay. All right.
And just to let you know, in my discussions, when he understands, he knows the gravity of the situation and his intention.
It's not true at all.
I got you. In terms of all the bonding on that stuff, just so that you have an idea of how you want to proceed with your hearing, we're basically probably going to wait and see what happens in felony, and then this thing will probably resolve itself. But anyways, I just wanted to share that with the court because he and I talked about that this morning.
Just,
Okay.
Just don't send them down, please.
Okay. Thank you, Jeff.
Hi, John.
Francisco Garcia.
Good morning, Mr. Adams.
Yes, sir. Morning.
Mr. Adams, you're charged with the offense of evading arrest and detention. You're
Sir.
facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. You have worked out an agreement. They're offering you 90 days in jail with credit for the 34 days that you've done. You need to understand that this is an enhanceable offense, meaning if you pick up another one of these, you will be charged with a felony and you'll be looking at years instead of days. Do you understand? You're giving up a lot of rights by entering into this agreement. You give up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeal. You're also doing this really involuntarily. No one's forcing you to do this. Am I right?
So,
Is this what you want to do? How do you plead to the offense, sir? Guilty or not guilty? Guilty or not guilty?
Good.
Are you sure?
Are you pleading guilty or not guilty to the charge? So you not, so you want to go to trial?
Good. Are you sure?
Good.
Are you sure?
Good.
You really, really sure? Did you run from the cops? I wasn't there. You were there. I don't know.
61 years old.
Age has nothing to do with this.
No.
Whether you ran or not.
You didn't know. You were going
Did you not run?
Walked out.
Well, I mean, tell me what happened.
Your Honor, based on the Dems,
Mr. Adams, listen, because he's going to say what happened.
3/21/2025, in Harris County, Texas, law enforcement officers were dispatched to a suspicious person call and made contact with the defendant inside an apartment. This was the suspicious person was someone that should have been in the apartment, that was going to the apartment. Law enforcement officers go out. He identifies himself by name and date of birth. They run him. So he has an outstanding warrant for parole violation or involuntary manslaughter from 1995. When law enforcement officers went to detain the defendant, he took off running. This was also filed as a 2B because he went about 100 yards and they lost sight of him. But they could run him based on his name and date of birth, that this was him that took off.
Is that what happened?
Guilty.
Okay. Are you guilty or not guilty of this offense? I'm going to find you guilty. If you're on probation or parole, you need to understand that by pleading guilty to this, it could result in further confinement.
Yes, sir.
Understand?
Yes, sir.
Still want to do this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm going to find you guilty. I'm going to send you to the green. Good luck to you, Mr. Adams.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Hi, Congressman.
Mr. Christopher Floyd Randall.
Good morning, Mr. Randall. Shh. Sir, you're charged with failure to identify oneself while being a fugitive from justice. You are facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. You guys have worked out an agreement where they're offering you 57 days in jail with credit for the 19 that you have done. You need to understand that this will reflect as a conviction on your record now, and it will be there forever. From now on, you will be facing a minimum of 90 days in jail. Do you understand? Yes or no? Okay. He's also has the assault. Is that one being dismissed? It looks like they're going to dismiss the assault case as part of the agreement. You're giving up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeal. Once you accept this agreement, you can never change this or challenge this. Is this what you want to do?
Very tidy, like I said.
So you want
I
to,
had no contest initially to that because it didn't make any sense to contest it. Guilty as charged, you know.
on the failure to ID?
I mean, I can't give them something that I don't have. But I mean, I was in
Just
Yep.
guilty of the failure to ID.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm going to find you guilty. I'm going to send you the agreement. Good luck to you, sir. Your other case will be dismissed as well.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.